It's round 2 of the I-5 rivalry. The Portland Thorns have made their way north with 5 wins and 2 of the greatest players in women's soccer. Looking to put the brakes on their neighbors from the Rose City, a Seattle club desperate for a win and with a game changer ready to make her franchise debut. It's the Rain and the Thorns from Starfire Stadium. Taking a look at the standings in the National Women's Soccer League, Portland and Sky Blue FC setting the pace, 16 points each. Sky Blue with the tiebreaker by virtue of a recent win in Portland and a tough match tonight for Sky Blue against FC Kansas City. Seattle and Chicago remain the only winless teams in the NWSL. And great to have you with us, everyone, along with Lesle Gallimore, the head coach at the University of Washington. I'm Tom Glasgow. And Lesle, that game changer I referred to, someone you're very familiar with, a former player with you, greatest goalkeeper on the planet, Hope Solo, ready to play for the first time coming off a wrist injury.
You know, and it couldn't be more timely. Seattle needs her. You know, the unfortunate thing kind of all around is that she's playing in front or behind a brand new back line. I mean, they've had to shuffle some players around due to injury to Ellie Reed, Kate Dynas, Jenny Ruiz sitting on the red card for this week. So not only is it her first game back, it's the first time on the back line as a unit for a lot of them together. So it'll be interesting. Not to put too much pressure on her. She can change a game. Communication,
such an important part between that goalie and that defense. And with this group collectively coming together for the first time, what are those challenges?
It's just a lot of challenges. My only advice to them would just be to listen to her. I would just plain and simple.
Good person to listen to.
Whatever she says, just do it.
Good person to listen to, especially when you have to try to slow down 2 of the top goal scorers in the women's soccer right now. We're talking about, of course, Alex Morgan and Christine Sinclair. They are phenomenal. They are dynamic, and they are a very scary 1-2 punch.
They are. You've got the wily veteran and Christine Sinclair, otherwise known as Sink, and Alex Morgan, the young gun, who both of them, if you look at their national team careers, their goals to caps ratio for their national teams is just unbelievable, the pace they score goals at. So, you know, those two to be on the same team in this franchise, lucky Portland. We'll see what the Rain can do today to stop them. I think their close game with them last time bodes well for the psyche of the Rain. They know that they can handle them. So I'm hopeful tonight that we see that from them.
Yeah, that close game back on April 21st, Gerald Stadium, a 2-1 victory for the Thorns. Seattle tonight looking to even the score.
Please welcome back to the pitch, number 1, with assistant coach Sam Lee, the Seattle Rain FC are led by head coach Laura Harvey. Seattle Rain FC would like to say thank you to all the brave men and women who have served and are currently serving in our armed forces here and abroad. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you haven't already. Remove your hats and observe the color guard who comes to us tonight from Naval Station Everett. And please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Singing Sisters.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
And let's hear it for the Singing Sisters.
Great to have you with us on this Saturday evening, a National Women's Soccer League matchup between Portland and Seattle. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for the visiting Portland Thorns, led by head coach Cindy Parlow-Cone. In goal, Karina LeBlanc, a back line of Marianne Doherty, Kat Williamson. In for Nikki Marshall, Nikki Marshall is in along with Rachel Beeler. Got confused momentarily with Nikki Washington, who is not getting the start tonight. That instead will go to Angie Kerr. Joining her in the midfield, Allie Long and Mana Shim. Also Becky Edwards. And then up front, Christine Sinclair. And our graphic showing that Danielle Foxhoven is getting the start. Now, our original lineup showed Alex Morgan, so we'll get some clarification on that. As I look out on the field, I do see Alex Morgan and Knox Foxhoven. Starters for the Seattle Reign, led by head coach Laura Harvey. A back line of Kristen Meyer, Lauren Barnes, Kaylin Kyle, and Kirsten Dahlstream. In the midfield, Jessica Fishlock, Christine Nairn, Keelan Winters, and up front, Teresa Noyola, Tiffany Cameron, and Liz Bogus. And of course, in goal, it is Hope Solo. I would be very much surprised if it is not Alex Morgan getting the start here this evening. She played in Seattle last summer. Seattle fans out in force this evening, full of enthusiasm, despite the fact Seattle one of two winless teams in the league, along with Chicago. Terrific contingent coming up from Portland for this match. And of course, in terms of fan support, nobody has topped Portland so far this season. And Leslie, they have really done a great job down there at Gerald Wendt Stadium supporting this Thorns team.
They have, and you know, Seattle is a soccer city, Portland's a soccer city, and you know, there's long-standing rivalries between the two in a number of sports, soccer being probably the biggest one, but it's, you know, it's only a matter of time before things catch on here in Seattle. This is a new franchise that's not necessarily attached to an MLS club like the Portland Thorns are. So, you know, they had to start a little bit from scratch, but they're picking it up here. And as you can see tonight, the crowds come out in force to see some great players in action.
Hope Solo's debut tonight marks the first appearance by a member of the U.S. national team, an allocated player for the Reign this season. The other two, Megan Rapinoe, playing over in France for Lyon. She's about ready to wrap up her commitment there. She should join the club in June. And then forward Amy Rodriguez is pregnant, so she will not be available for this season. So great to have Hope in goal tonight. And again, we talked about the changes and everything that's been going on in that back line, and that's really going to be a fascinating matchup tonight, that Seattle defense against this very talented Portland group. Again, Portland coming into this one, 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, 16 points. Seattle, no wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie, and outscored over their last 3 matches by a 9-2 count. So,
well, Tom, you've already just outdone me. Fascinating is one way to put it. It should be very fascinating.
Yeah.
Hopefully fascinating in a good way.
So what are some of the early things we need to look for out of Seattle this evening in terms of settling in and really getting off to a nice start against Portland?
They got to work hard. They got to work hard and put Portland under pressure. Portland, on their games on the road, haven't been as smooth as they have been at home in front of their home crowd. They've been capable of coughing the ball up and being put under pressure and not getting into a rhythm. You just can't let players like Alex Morgan and Christine Sinclair run free. You have to keep track of them. You can't let them get comfortable and in a rhythm and get a multitude of opportunities. I think it's really important for the Reign to start this game without giving up anything early. They've got to battle and keep the game even and possibly, obviously try to get one. But they can't give up anything early. They've got to settle in.
And then, Leslie, talk about how Coach Cone is using Christine Sinclair.
A little bit like her national team in Canada has started to use her, a little bit more withdrawn off the forward line than in her younger years. She works really well running off the ball. She's just so smooth with the ball and can see the runners and feed the players in front of her. And if you need her in front of the goal to strike it, she's a clinical finisher. So she's dangerous in that spot.
Ball played up to Allie Long. Mana Shim back to Long. Long with some room. The shot inside. Morgan with the flick on.
We talk about Hope's debut, and we've just seen the debut of another player. Rookie Kristen Meyer out of Wake Forest is debuting tonight for the Reign at right back, number 21, and she's just got a little taste of Valley Long, facing up and trying to take her on, which is what you'll see Cindy Cone coach teams do. They will get the ball up front. They will look to run at you. They will look to press you. She's used to playing that style as a coach at Carolina, as a player at North Carolina, and even with the national team in her early days. So you're going to probably see that out of the Thorns.
Christine Nairn, first good push offensively for Seattle. Noyola with some room in the right-footed shot, deflected. Tiffany Cameron keeping it in for Seattle. And the Thorns defense doing a nice job cleaning up that situation.
That's a good look by Seattle there. And Teresa Noyola, you want to spring her out there and get her in the box. She's got a great strike from distance and can place a ball as well.
It's Keelan Winters, number 11. Cameron with some room, shoots. And LeBlanc with a save.
And as everybody knows, another outstanding goalkeeper on the other side of the field in Canadian international, Karina LeBlanc. She's a veteran. She's a team player. People love her. They love playing in front of her. She's just as solid can be, as you can tell by that save she just made there. Routine parry around the bar.
It'll be number 19, Christine Nairn, to take this corner for Seattle. In swinger, headed out. Not too far. Dahlstream keeps it alive. Back out to Nairn. Low service. And it'll be a throw in for Seattle.
I like the idea of Nairn being in the midfield more than up front. She's good with the ball. She's good playing behind the forwards. She's more active that way. And I really think that's a positive change for the Reign, is to have her in a playmaking role.
Throw in for the Thorns. Winters and Shim colliding. Kaylin Kyle taking Morgan out.
It's outstanding tackle by Kaylin Kyle.
Winters to Jess Fishlock. Not familiar with Jess Fishlock. She is a high energy, high contact player. Scored the lone goal for Seattle in the 2-1 loss against the Thorns in the first match down at Geldwin on April 21st. Nice switch by Nairn over to Fishlock.
I already like the amount of possession you're seeing by Seattle in the front half of the field. I've been away for a few days. I watched their live stream of their Washington game. I caught the end of their Sky Blue game. And it's just, the possession in the front half of the field is something that's just had to get better.
But anticipation defensively that time by Portland. Sinclair up ahead looking for Morgan. Keeps it alive, played back. Barnes to Solo.
Really loving Hope in the all-purple kit. It's the color of royalty as well as the color of the Washington Huskies, so it serves dual purpose here on the Seattle Reign.
Didn't slide any gold in there, but
yeah, it's fine.
That's okay. The purple's the primary color.
She's got medals at home that are gold, so that'll do.
Marshall with the throw in. Winters. Becky Edwards for Portland, but Barnes for Seattle playing it ahead to Cameron. Kat Williamson. Good job. Nice move on that far sideline by Williamson. Portland unable to keep it in. Throw in for Seattle.
That's a change for Seattle a little bit as well, is the fact that they're pressing right off the bat and not going to sit back and just let the Thorns have the back half of the field. They're going to press and try to, body up with them defensively, try to win balls in the front half of the field. I think that's a good strategy.
Noyola. Winters. Bogus looking for Fishlock. To Meyer. And last touch by Meyer. Goal kick coming up for LeBlanc.
More good, confident attacking by the Reign. It's good to see in the early going of the game. Again, they can't just rely on that. The score's still 0-0. They can't fall asleep defensively.
This team offensively went through an extended drought of nearly 300 minutes without a goal before finally getting 2 against the Washington Spirit, but that was a 4-2 loss, and then shut out the last time on the pitch here. 3-0 by Sky Blue FC.
Yeah, I think they seem to be energized by the crowd tonight, despite the injuries and a little bit of lack of depth on the bench due to cards and other injuries. They seem fired up tonight and a little bit renewed to come out and try to put their best foot forward, which is great to see. Those last games where they gave up multiple goals, they'd kept a lot of games very close in the beginning, 1-goal games for the most part, and then the 3 and the 4 goals against, that'll deflate you a little bit. So hopefully they've shaken that off, and they're coming out here tonight looking to rectify that.
Marshall. Allie Long with the switch. Marianne Doherty plays it ahead to Morgan. Nice touch back to Sinclair.
I'm going to let you say Marianne a couple more times just because I would love to just tease her that her name is Marianne, but her name is Marianne. And Dalmy Doherty is her married name. And I had the chance last year to go to Morocco with her. She and Angela Heath-Lees, I did. With the U.S. State Department, we did a sports envoy to Morocco. I've known Marianne since she was a youth player in Denver, Colorado. Standout player at Santa Clara. Has been in the league a couple different times. Had played in the national team for the 2007 World Cup. And I think she was surprised when she got drafted. She just had taken a job at Nike, and great to see her not only playing, starting, and she's had a goal this season.
And that goal coming against Seattle. Ahead to Bogus. Marshall with the defense, and that'll be a second corner kick coming up for Seattle. Marion Doherty out of Lakewood, Colorado. Set piece is so critical for a team that struggles offensively, Leslie, to try to cash in on those.
Absolutely. They have to start the dead balls, the free kicks and the corner kicks. They really have to start capitalizing on these. It's a chance.
Nairn, good service.
That's an outstanding corner kick by Christine Nairn, and a good opportunity for Seattle. One that they'd like to see put in the back of the net, but at least it was on frame.
That was Liz Bogus who got ahead to it. But LeBlanc in the right position. Lauren Barnes, back to Fishlock. Just on the move, far sideline, Bogus. That goal she scored in Portland was followed by, I don't want to say an excessive celebration, an enthusiastic celebration.
Hey, goals are the greatest thing in soccer. You're supposed to celebrate them.
Got the attention of the Thorns fans.
Well, maybe she can get another one here tonight and show us a new celebration.
Shim.
Another player off of Jerry Smith's Bronco team down at Santa Clara, Mona Shim.
Nice run by Marshall down the near sideline. And Solo hauls it in. Great effort that time on that run by Nikki Marshall.
Yeah, and that's something that's going to be a little bit tough. If our forwards for the Reign are going to have to track outside backs all the way back into the box, you don't want your forwards to have to do that much defensive running. You want them to be able to save their legs for being sharp in front of the goal. So hopefully you don't see Teresa Noyola making that defensive run too many times this game.
Job there by Nairn. Meyer with some room. Meyer.
That's a great ball.
Offside the call as she connected on the pass, but Liz Bogus.
I'll tell you what I like so far
fast.
is the confidence of Kristen Meyer getting forward. To have her first start and this big game, and I don't know if she's maybe a little bit anxious that Hope's behind her. She tends to do that to people, but she's, I'll tell you what, she's gotten forward, she's kept the ball for their team, and she's defended well so far. I've been impressed.
Header by Winters. Bueller. Sinclair. Shim unable to catch up with the pass.
You notice what Alex Morgan's got a defender on her. She, you know, what a safety net to have. And Christine Sinclair just right behind you to drop the ball off to and play it back forward to you. I mean, that's just what a link up between those two. You know, they had some time together on the New York Flash, the Western New York Flash. So they're not, you know, unfamiliar with one another. Yeah, they play against each other for the U.S. and Canada, but they have played together. It's a fun combination to watch.
Williamson drops it back to LeBlanc. Portland will reset. Out to Rachel Bueller.
That's got a ball,
Bogus.
square ball like that. Liz Bogus, she sniffs out one a little bit earlier. That's a great ball across the middle of the field to try to pick off.
Long overshoots Morgan. Solo clears it. Shim with a head. Fishlock dealing with 3 Thorns.
There we go. What we don't need to have happen on the rain is for Jessica Fishlock to feel like the referees are against her again from the beginning. That was a great advantage call by the ref. Fishlock's showing her skill and her guile to get out of that, you know, 3v1 situation to connect the pass. She's just a fun player to watch. If you could clone her, it'd be great to have one to defend and one to be closer to the goal at all times, but she definitely is someone who needs to kind of connect the back line to the rest of the team, and she does a good job sitting in there with Keelan Winters.
Great fitness level, great leadership on this team. Spoke with her earlier this week, and she just talked about despite the struggles, the attitude's good, the players are sticking together, they believe in what Coach Harvey is presenting them with.
Yeah, that was something that I shared a few texts with Coach Harvey over the last week, and I told her just from my vantage point as a spectator that I felt like despite the results that it looked to me as though this is a team of professionals and they're still trying to put their best foot forward. There's not a lot of hanging heads. There's not a lot of finger pointing. There's not a lot of, you know, the negative stuff that comes along when you're not getting results. I've been impressed with the demeanor of this team.
Shim in the box. Sinclair the volley. Just off target. Christine Sinclair. 145 international goals, 196 appearances for Team Canada, and this season 3 goals, 1 assist. Second best on the team in terms of goal production to Alex Morgan, who has 4.
She's a finisher. Again, I think I've a broken record on these broadcasts of talking about the players as a college coach I saw one too many times. Sink would be another one at the University of Portland. I'm telling you, you didn't need to give her more than 2 chances for her to get 1. And she was just, you know, for an opposing coach, you don't like to watch it, but she's a pleasure to watch play, and I've enjoyed following her pro and her national team career.
Tiffany Cameron. Seattle very patient on that back line. Noyola. Now going against Portland.
Yeah, again, showing some confidence, building out of the back. I just, you know, I think that's something that they have to move the ball maybe a little bit quicker and be a little more careful with the pressing front 5 of the Thorns. It's just not something you want to give up to them. I try to play beyond our midfield if we could and then get it back to them facing.
Noyola tackled. Bueller doing a good job defensively coming up from behind on Cameron.
AKA the bulldozer. That's what she does. Stand out at Stanford, outstanding player for the U.S. women. Married this last year, a delightful person, has been a mainstay since she won it, was a U19 player, and just one of the best defenders out there.
There's a little preview of June 2nd in Toronto. Kaylin Kyle, number 6 for the Reign, a member of the Canadian squad that'll take on Alex Morgan and the Americans up in Toronto. And you saw the good defense by Kyle and then the foul by Morgan.
Yeah. Kaylin Kyle, playing in multiple positions for the Reign already this season, and now comes in at center back, and I think she's up to the task. She's a smart enough player, a tough enough player, and a veteran enough player to be able to lead them from the central back position. Despite the injury to Kate Dynas, who's been a little bit of a stalwart back there for the Reign up to this point, so far tonight, I've been impressed with how Kaylin has come out.
Williamson near sideline to Marshall. Long. Euler back to LeBlanc. Targeting Morgan. And Kyle there with the defense. 18th minute here at Starfire Stadium, just south of Seattle. Second meeting this season between the Thorns and the Reign. Takeaway. Sinclair. Shim. Christine. Left-footed. Overshoots the Seattle goal. Goal kick coming up.
These are the type of giveaways that Seattle can't afford to have. Hope was looking to punt it at first, and their backstage dropped back, so she rolled it out, and the next pass was a turnover right to Angie Wozniak or Angie Kerr. And those are the kind of mistakes that you have to limit against a team that has this much firepower up front.
Knowing Hope the way you do, she's been out of game action a bit following that wrist surgery. Does it take her long to sort of get back in the flow?
It'll take her a little while. I mean, the interesting thing here is that she's playing with players she's never played with before. I mean, has barely trained with, if at all. So, the familiarity, she played on the women's Sounders team last year a bit with Kate, so having Kate in the game would make it a little bit more familiar, someone that she was comfortable with. But, she's a pro. It's not going to affect her that much. Just, getting games is important for her, and I think everyone, including the national team, probably happy to see her back on the field getting this time.
Good job by Liz Bogus battling for that ball and keeps it in. Bogus with a left-footed service. Header by Winters, contested by LeBlanc, and it'll be a corner for Seattle.
And I think that was a little bit of a head-to-head maybe for Karina and Keelan Winters. They both look a little bit dazed on that one. Maybe Keelan's back. I don't know what part of Keelan's body the ball hit, but certainly a great serve by Liz. And I was a little disappointed there weren't more runners, and Keelan at the last minute kind of showed up there, which was outstanding.
Make some noise, Reign fans.
And we've talked about this before, another restart. They need to take advantage of these dead balls.
Third corner coming up for Seattle. Good look at Christine Nairn. Cameron Dahlstream there, and that was Dahlstream. Well off target. I think she was more than trying to score. Leslie maybe trying to redirect that ball.
That looked like a planned set piece. I mean, she made a hard run past the near post, and it looked like she was trying to maybe flick it past. That was a very low-driven serve by Nairn that it was hard to redirect.
Kerr and Noyola dueling for that ball. Kyle out to Winters.
Teresa Noyola's had a lot of the ball, and she's listed as being a forward in a 3 front. She's changed spots in and out with Nairn. this has been the issue with Seattle a little bit, is that they are a team of a lot of great midfielders, and they've had to convert some people to forwards. They've had injuries to Taylor, Amy Rodriguez not on the team, and then just kind of a host of other players that haven't really put the ball in the back of the net, but a lot of converted midfielders. So for she and Nairn to both kind of trade places in and off the front line and into the midfield could certainly be a great weapon for the Seattle Reign.
Last foul was on Becky Edwards. Another set piece opportunity. Nairn looking for Kyle, heading it over the goal and over her Canadian national team teammate, LeBlanc.
Well,
look at Kaylin right there, number 6.
Not to beat a dead horse, and that was another dangerous ball. I can't tell from the angle if it was really offside or not, but certainly, the Reign are getting enough restarts that one of these falling for them or being even more dangerous on them would be crucial. Super impressed this first 20-something minutes of the Seattle Reign, playing confident, not playing like a team that's lost 6 games, not playing like a team who is missing players or has limited bench. They're playing like a team that wants to win and thinks they can win and believes they can win. It's great to see.
Shim. Morgan turns it over. Bogus Sinclair, though, nice recovery. Not just an offensive player. You saw that good defensive play by Christine.
What you haven't seen yet is Alex Morgan running in open field. And the Seattle Reign are doing a good job of keeping her in check. She's gotten the ball in the middle third and played it back primarily. She hasn't turned and faced anyone, and she hasn't really had an opportunity to turn and run at players. And the less that you see Alex Morgan do that, the better off you are as a team playing against her.
Williamson. Back to Bueller. Ball deflected by Dahlstream. Back to Solo. 23rd minute, scoreless at Starfire Stadium. Be sure and pass along the result tonight that I know a lot of Thorn fans are curious about. Sky Blue FC taking on FC Kansas City. Sky Blue and the Thorns entering action today at the top of the table with 16 points each. Keelan Winters has missed some time recently due to an ankle injury. Been a number of ankle issues with this Reign club.
Yeah, I think Keelan came off of last season with an ankle injury from her time at Potsdam in Germany. Or at some point, I know it was a worse injury than it is now, and it just gets re-injured, tweaked here and there. But she's tough. You're not going to see her out for very long. The return of Ellie Reed and Kate Dynas will be outstanding for this team. I mean, that just adds to their depth.
Kate had a huge play in the first matchup between these clubs. Took a ball right off the goal line. She'll be out anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. High ankle sprain. Those are always difficult to come back from. Reed maybe on a very similar time frame with her injury.
Yeah, hopefully, I think Ellie's a little bit ahead of hope as far as, where she is. I saw her warming up before the game, and Kate is not ready to warm up and be on the bench yet, but coming up in this next stretch, hopefully we see both of them back.
Seattle possession. Good idea by Bogus.
Yeah.
Cameron just did not see the pass coming.
That's something with Tiffany Cameron again that you see kind of time and time again, not necessarily in a bad way, but my thing with her is that I just feel it's a little bit her lack of experience. And, one person seems to zig and she zags, and they're just not on the same page at all times. And it's not necessarily that Liz should have played that ball. It's just that as a forward, Tiffany was running with her back to it, and you have to get yourself shaped a little bit so you can find balls in front of you facing the goal to get strikes.
Bueller. Terrific play, a nice pass down to Morgan. Across the goal, cleared out.
Yeah, that's where you don't want to see that wicked left foot. Down and around the 18, able to face, able to serve. Great job to defend. Not sure who cleared that out, Kirsten Dahlstrom or Lauren Barnes. Yeah, I think Dahlstrom cleared that one. Good positioning, facing forward. Here's where you'll see Cameron's pace.
Nairn to her left.
Now it's just a matter if she comes up with good ideas here.
There's
Smart
Bogus
to play it
with room.
wide.
Service by Bogus in the area of Nairn and headed out like Becky Edwards got to that. And a fourth corner already coming up for Seattle. So again, an indication of the pressure that they're putting on this Thorns defense.
Yeah, I would, 26 in or about halfway into the half, I'd say now. Seattle's had the better run of play.
See a mistake made in the corner. I'm not sure which player it was, but a corner now coming up where I think it was Nairn was meaning to reset the ball, and she rolled it out, and the Portland defense stormed in and kicked it out for a throw-in. So
interesting.
This is Fishlock. And that one going off Marion Doherty.
Royal Guard, let me hear you.
Another corner for Seattle. Short corner, Fishlock. I'm losing count of the corners. I think we're up to 7.
That's
Fishlock. Punched out by LeBlanc.
It's a great save by LeBlanc. That was almost in the goal. That just needed a nudge or any body part from the Seattle Reign to touch it. It probably would have gone in, but a good punch by her and a great clearance. Seattle seems to get more and more dangerous on their restarts. The more they get, the more I feel like they need to get a goal out of one.
Cameron held up a bit, no call.
Yeah. Advantage call again.
Advantage. Yep. And another dangerous set piece coming up for Seattle. We'll see if Fishlock or Nairn end up taking this one.
Dead balls, dead balls, dead balls. One of them's got to drop. I'm saying this one off a deflection. I'm going to call it. It gets put back into play and somebody buries it.
Fishlock. On a bounce to LeBlanc.
It's not the first or the last time I'll be wrong on something.
No need to go to Vegas tonight.
I'm just trying to spice things up a little bit. For all the run of play, you want to get a goal out of it.
It's certainly been a first half of some real production for Seattle, with the exception of the finishes. Of course, that's the most important part. Throw-in coming up for the Thorns. Marion Doherty looking for Sinclair. Dahlstrom. Foul call going against Angie Kerr. Nairn's shaken up a bit. And a yellow card. Maybe that's Becky Edwards.
I was just going to mention Becky Edwards. She, where she's sitting kind of in front of the back line, she came up to defend pretty high on the field for her then. But, the difference, I think, in the styles of play is Seattle tends to play through their midfield a little bit more than the Thorns do, and you haven't really seen Becky Edwards on the ball. You've seen the ball go up to the forwards and back to Sinclair, but not a lot of playmaking going on in the midfield for the Thorns.
Allie Long trying to flick ahead. Meyer disrupting that plan. Morgan looking for Kerr. Dahlstrom to throw in.
Yeah, I just haven't really seen much rhythm or connection out of Portland yet, and I noticed this on their other road game that I watched online. They just don't seem to get as comfortable with the ball.
Like a handball on Shim. So free kick for Seattle. See some of those Thorns fans in the background.
Yeah, it's great. This interstate rivalry, when you have an 8-team league and only 2 of the teams are on the West Coast, it's great that they're within 2 hours driving distance of each other so that there can be this rivalry.
Fishlock from distance. Goal kick for Portland. "32nd minute, first half, Starfire Stadium still scoreless despite a consistent amount of pressure that Seattle has been applying offensively. It's like Winters may have taken a shot in the face from Sinclair. Dahlstream back to Solo. Fishlock called for the foul against Edwards. Free kick for the Thorns. Well, she's one of the most fouled players in the league, and she is amongst those who commit the highest number of fouls. Very physical player despite her size.
Let's just say Jess Fishlock is involved. She's very involved in the game.
Remember the Wales national team?
Yeah, I've been impressed with her. I haven't had the chance to meet her personally and speak with her, but I look forward to it. She's just been a delight to watch up to this point, and you know, she's going to mean a lot to this franchise and to this team.
Portland unable to make a connection that time with Morgan. Thorns still have possession. Shim.
We've got Christine Sinclair on the back post we have to be careful of.
The ball was targeted for Sinclair. Marshall. Sinclair to Long. Shim creating room and shooting wide. Solo well positioned on that attempt. I hope will not be available to the U.S. national team. At least that was the plan for the June 2nd match against Canada, but looking at being available on 2 other dates in June for matches against South Korea. Long to Shim. Lost control of it. Seattle with a throw in.
It's just been a little sloppy by the Thorns. There's been a couple chances that they've had that they've strung 3 and 4 passes together, but I just really haven't seen a lot of rhythm.
Handball against Cameron.
In the front half of the field in particular. It's all more, you know, maybe 1 and 2 passes and then a go at it and some individual work, but not a lot of team combinations for as talented as they are up to this point.
How difficult can it be? And I know both players have talked about getting more comfortable with each other each time out as that ball is sent nicely into the box by Bueller. Sinclair with a header and cleared out by Seattle, but you have 2 tremendous goal scorers, in which, of course, Morgan has a person by the name of Abby Wambach. She has to share the spotlight with offensively. But what about these 2 playing together and trying to
I think it's nothing but a positive. They have different roles in the system that they're playing. I just think on the night so far, and again, it's 0-0, mind you. It only takes 1 or 2 clear chances for those 2 to get a goal. And here they have a restart in a dangerous spot on the field. You know, as far as the 2 of them as players, you know, you're a forward. You share the spotlight, yes, but when it comes to scoring goals, you have to be selfish. And to have 2 players that know what their job is, and they're both going to try to, you know, they're going to both try to put the ball in the back of the net when it's their turn.
Her inside, dangerous opportunity for Portland. This will be a goal kick for Seattle. Of course, the beauty of it is the defense can't basically put a lot of focus on one player.
At all. You cannot. And with that said, they aren't the only 2 players on this team that can score either. Angie Kerr's a very talented attacking player. Mona Shim can score goals. I mean, they've got a lot of firepower, so you have to defend them collectively. certainly.
Nikki Washington has a goal this season. Marion Doherty with a goal. Long with a goal. So they come at you from a lot of different positions. Nairn up ahead to Cameron. Good defense that time by Williamson. Dahlstream and Winters.
Seattle's being patient defensively. They're getting good numbers behind the ball. They're not leaving any space, a huge space in between Hope and the back line. There's, definitely a manageable area for her to cover. I've been impressed with their shape and their ability to defend.
In the box, Fishlock. Shim still on her feet. Morgan fires, blocked by Winters. Kerr trying to find some room. Morgan looking for St. Clair. A nice pass that time. Good idea by Alex Morgan.
And Seattle just doing a good job of having numbers in there and getting the clearance out.
Seattle looking to counter with Cameron. Bogus to her right. Bogus with a drop to Meyer. Room for Winters.
And this is intentional, I think. You don't see Kirsten Dahlstream making a run from the left back position. I think they've been told to stay home. So Keelan Winters looking to link up over on the left side. You'd normally see an outside back getting forward, and there was no question that Dahlstream was going nowhere.
St. Clair ahead. Morgan in full pursuit, gets tangled up with Kaylin Kyle, and both appear shaken up. Jess Fishlock pleading her case with Margaret Domka, our referee tonight. The assistant referees, Veronica Perez and Fan Johnson, and the fourth referee, the alternate, Ray Moffitt Jr.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what exactly happened there, and I still am not sure what's happened here as far as a call.
Morgan looks fine.
There goes the idea of the Stars getting preferential treatment.
Yeah.
Alex Morgan has just been awarded a yellow card. Also pleading her case. The ball nowhere in play. She grabbed Kaylin Kyle from behind and drug her down. I mean, that's a cardable offense.
And certainly a team that's already depleted by injury.
Yeah, this isn't.
Really cannot afford to lose somebody, especially someone playing on that back line.
I agree 100%. This is not, and I think Kaylin Kyle's been doing a good job back there. This isn't a place where you'd want to see her have to come out and be replaced by somebody, especially at this point in the game.
Next game for the Reina Friendly against the Haitian national team. That'll be right here, Starfire Stadium. June 2nd, 1 week from tomorrow. They will kick that off at 3 o'clock. No streaming of that match, so if you want to see it, come on out in person here to Starfire Stadium. Next streaming game will be against FC Kansas City, one of the top teams in the National Women's Soccer League. That'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 9th. Seattle has played Kansas City twice, losing at Kansas City 2-0 and then losing the following week here at Starfire 1-0.
And that was a game, that home game that I thought they could get, when they were playing Kansas City. I thought that was one that they had ample opportunities.
Cameron. And another corner kick coming up for Seattle, and Kaylin Kyle has returned to the pitch, so at least to some degree, she's shaken off the injury.
That's a good sign for the Reign. Let's hope that she's, able to keep going.
Just total domination on the corner kicks for Seattle. Unofficially, this will be number 8. Nairn. Fishlock elevating that time. And a potential counter here by Portland. Long looking up for Morgan. Lauren Barnes did not hit that one the way she wanted to. It'll be a throw-in for the Thorns as we've made our way into the 41st minute.
There's a little bit of a miscue there between she and Noyola. That needs to be a better job of sealing the box on that corner and get on the same page there. You can't let that happen. Good job to stop the counter because Alex Morgan, the baby horse, was on her horse, ready to go.
Job by Cameron that time as she backheels it now to Noyola.
Seattle in those combinations up front, they need to start to look and play in between the gaps of the defenders a little bit more. They play some short combinations, but everything tends to be in front of the back line and not through. And it's just a little bit too easy to defend. It's a little bit too tight. They've got to spread the defense out a little bit more by playing in the gaps in between them and trying to get through.
Good job by Keelan Winters breaking up that Sinclair-Morgan combination. Nairn to Bogus. With the head to Cameron, but two Thorn defenders are right next to her. Defense that time by Edwards. Sinclair ahead to Morgan. Back to Sinclair. And not much there as Solo cleans it up rather easily.
I think this is where, if Hope had time to practice with this team, she would tell their forwards when she comes out to the top of the box and picks one like that to look for the quick punt, because she can hit it a country mile, and that would be a good weapon for them to start to use. But without playing and practicing with the team, that's probably something they haven't really discussed or talked about much. Maybe it'll be something at halftime, but it's a weapon they need to use, especially with the speed of Cameron. If they can catch the numbers good at the back for their forwards against the Thorn back line.
Tiffany Cameron, another call up for Canada for that June 2nd game against the Americans in Toronto.
And she's a player, the more and more I see her play, she's just young. You know, the more she plays with veteran players, the more she plays at this level, the better she's going to get. She's got a lot of great tools, and she's had the ability to score, goals at the college level. And I think that's going to start to come to fruition here in the Pro League. It's a great ball by Winters.
Unable to.
Rough touch by Cameron. Come on, Tiff, I was just giving you props.
Gave her the props. Former Buckeye, had a great career at Ohio State. Made her senior national team debut for Canada just this year. Long going down. Free kick coming up for the Thorns. Rachel Bueller. Take care of that. Sinclair. Dahlstream gets between her and the goal, but Sinclair battling. Fishlock got a foot on it, and that will result in a corner kick for the Thorns. 45th minute here at Starfire Stadium. So far, a scoreless match between the Thorns and the Reign. Seattle seeking its first win on the season. Sinclair the header, just over the crossbar. Solo fully extended. Dangerous play by the Thorns.
Now, this is a point in the game where the Thorns have had a couple of opportunities here late in the waning moments, and, Seattle can ill afford to give something up at this point. They've played really well the first half, one of the better halves I've seen them play in recent weeks, and against a very good Thorn team.
Fishlock and Morgan, like a little MMA action there.
Yeah.
Cameron, Bueller plays it out, allowing your defense to reset.
The referee has added 1 minute of extra time.
1 minute of extra time.
Minute.
Cameron double teamed. Hand off of Bogus. Maybe one last opportunity for Seattle. Nairn from distance. A little over-enthusiastic maybe on that. About 15 seconds remaining in the half. The players still going hard. The fans still going hard.
Yeah, they are.
Both sides waving their flags.
The Thorn fans are outstanding. The Royal Guard for Seattle outstanding. Both on opposite sides of the field, waving their tifos and their flags. A great half for the Reign, I think, Tom.
0-0 as the teams head to their respective locker rooms here at the Starfire Soccer Complex. Just about 15 minutes south of Seattle. Portland coming in with 16 points. Seattle coming in with just 1, but certainly Seattle outplaying Portland in the first half, at least based on the number of scoring opportunities, but just unable to get any past LeBlanc and into the net.
Yeah, and I've said, the restarts alone, I've been a little bit, I've been excited because I think Christine Nairn has taken a lot of very, very dangerous corners. We've had some balls played in and around the 6. Karina LeBlanc has been called to duty to have to make some saves, box a couple out. We haven't had great second chances off the corner kicks, which I would like to see. But that number of restarts, you got to get something out of it. 0-0 for this team, for the way their season has gone up to this point is, they have to put them away. They've got to get ahead in the game. They can't put themselves in a position where it stays tied for much longer, and then where they are at the risk of going down and having to chase the game. They're too thin on the bench for that, I feel.
Stick around. We're going to take a brief break. We have some special guests coming your way here at halftime from Starfire Stadium, where it's 0-0 between Seattle and Portland. Nil-nil halftime between Seattle and Portland. Starfire Stadium. Great to have you with us, along with Lesle Gallimore. I'm Tom Glasgow. And Lesle, you're pretty good at getting our halftime quality of guests ranking right up there.
It's early in the season. It could dwindle as the summer goes on, but so far we've hit it pretty well.
Amy Lapel joining us, member U.S. national team, and here in the Seattle area doing some rehab. Tell everybody what you're trying to overcome to get yourself back out on the pitch.
Well, I had ACL revision February 5th, so I'm about 3.5 months out. I'm really happy with my progress, but I definitely have a couple months ahead of me still, and I'm just going to keep working hard, try to get a little bit stronger, a little fitter each day, and hopefully I'll be out there soon.
Amy, have you had to deal with a serious injury before?
Yeah, this is actually my second time going through an ACL recovery.
Same knee?
Same knee.
What are the challenges the second time versus the first time in this type of process?
I actually don't think it's as challenging for me just because I know what's ahead of me. I feel like I'm a little older, a little more experienced. I know what my body needs and what it takes. So each and every day I'm just going at it, going after it hard, and I get a little stronger, day to day.
And Amy, you're an allocated player for the Chicago Red Stars, and tell us about, they've struggled a little bit too. Have you followed their season, and what are your thoughts so far in the league this year?
Yeah, I've definitely followed the Red Stars season. I've watched every game. I'm a huge supporter of them, of course. I grew up in Chicago, so of course I'm a big fan, and I'm on the team. But, it is a bit of a rough start for them, as it is for the Reign. But you just have to believe, and at this time, the team really has to come together. They have to fight every day and do it for each other because anything is possible. Every team is talented, and they have the players to win.
And in an 8-team league, it only takes a little run to get on for you to move up and down the standings. The teams are kind of bunched right now, and certainly Seattle's not bunched. They're at the bottom, but a few wins, and it puts them right back in the thick of things. Tonight, the first half, what are your thoughts so far? My personal opinion is I feel like the Reign have come out and kind of controlled the game and had more of the opportunities.
I agree. I didn't know what I'd come out and see tonight, but it's been a fun match. I think both teams have been dangerous and had some good opportunities to score, so it's exciting soccer tonight.
Well, as you may or may not know, I followed you guys around Germany in an RV with my family. I was a fan for the entire Germany World Cup. And so what a great World Cup that was. Despite coming in second, I know for you personally, there were definitely ups and downs in the tournament, but it was so fun to watch you play, as it was fun to watch you play in the Pac-10 in college at Arizona State. Talk about a little bit about playing in front of Hope and maybe what she brings tonight to the game, to this team that they've been missing in experience.
I think it's great for the Reign that Hope's out there tonight. I know as a defender in front of her, you want to do your best for her because she's always on the top of her game, and she helps you be your best. She makes sure you're in the right position. If you're not, she lets you know it. But when you are and you get your job done, she's the first to tell you, great job, I absolutely love playing with Hope. I think I am the best I can be when she's behind me because she puts me, in the right position every single time.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming by, Amy. We're going to continue with our Cavalcade of Stars, Tom.
Yeah? All right. She got us off to a great start.
Well, and the good segue is that, the fitness of the U.S. national team, and everyone talks about what a fit team they are, and there is a different standard. You see the U.S. players, and oftentimes you're like, oh, okay, that's what fit means.
Yeah.
Well, we happen to be in great company tonight with Dawn Scott, the fitness trainer for the U.S. national team. Amy, do you have anything to say about Dawn before we bring her on?
Is she working you hard enough?
Anything nice to say about Dawn?
Yeah, only good things to say about Dawn. She, everything she does for us, she makes us be nice and fit, nice and strong, and ready to go day in and day out.
Okay, well, without further ado, we'll bring on Dawn.
We'll do that. Amy, best of luck in your recovery.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
we'll take a brief break for a transition. We'll be back with you in about a minute. We'll check in with the person that makes all these players their fittest as they can be. Stick around. As promised, the fitness coach for the U.S. women's national team, Don Scott. Well, rarely do I talk about fitness, but that's another story. Don, thanks for joining us. What brings you to Seattle?
Along with Tom Samani and the other US Women's National Team staff, we've been visiting all of the NWSL teams to start communication with the teams, because obviously moving forward we want to work together with the teams in terms of monitoring and continuing to develop the US players, and obviously support the league so that we can make the league successful and to make sure that it continues.
Leslie touched on in your conversation with Amy the tremendous respect that the U.S. team has for many reasons, but their level of fitness. What makes that work?
I mean, the US have an incredible attitude and mentality anyway when they're training. I think one thing that we have kind of tweaked and adapted over the last couple of years for sure is just making the training a bit more individual and specific positionally, but then also focusing on the recovery strategies that the players implement, because there's no doubt whatever player, they give 110% on the field or in a conditioning session or any session that we do, but then we've just added a bit more of the recovery side and players can then train at even higher levels.
And so Pia Sundhage brought you on staff, and now there's been a changeover with Tom Sermani, who was a guest on the show. Do we have a show now? Can we call this a show?
It's the halftime show. We just need a sponsor. That's all we need. Brought to you by fill in the blank.
I paid good money for this scarf. But so how has it been working with Tom up to this point?
I mean, we're still in kind of transition and working together, and also it's a little bit different because it's almost a down year for the national team. So the priority right now has been the players and the clubs. But then certainly when we're coming into camp, it's similar. We're continuing with the sports science, the fitness, individualising it as much as we can. Tom's obviously been rotating the players a lot, which again, because it's a down year, he's looking at different players. So that's been a little bit different in terms of managing playing time and fitness and recovery, but then I'm sure next year when the squad's a bit more refined, then
I don't know about the players, Don, but I know I personally, based on what I saw from the national team since you've been there, I was happy to see you stay on. I'm not sure that they're overly
thank you.
I'm sure they're thrilled.
That's when you know Dawn, she's doing her job.
Dawn
right?
gets nothing but kudos from the players, and when you watch them play and perform and you see how they either bounce back from injury or don't get injured, you know that she has a lot to do with it. So it's been impressive. So the youth national teams as well, everyone has taken on sort of Dawn's theories on periodization and how you schedule a year out. It's not an easy thing to do by any means, but she's been tremendous at it. So
thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. You're welcome.
Don, thank you so much.
Okay, no worries.
Don Scott joining us, member of the U.S. national team, the fitness coach. Again, a brief transition. When we come back, Kate Dynas of the Reign will join us. We'll talk about her fitness. She's dealing with an ankle injury right now. Stick around. Second half about to get underway here at Starfire Stadium, 0-0 between the Seattle Reign and Portland Thorns. And nice to have with us, well, it really isn't, because she's with us because she's hurt.
Yeah.
Kate Dynas, member of the Reign, defensive player, also a former player for Lesle Gallimore at the University of Washington. So let's first of all get everybody up to date on your ankle.
Well, it's actually a lot better than it was. It's getting better and better every day. I'm pretty much spending 24 hours rehabbing, it feels like, day in and day out, trying to get this better so I can get back on the field.
Leslie, talk about what this young lady meant to your program at Washington.
Everything. She came in as a freshman at a time where we had been out of the tournament for a few years and we were rebuilding, and put us back in the tournament on her back. She did, with a lot of other good players that joined her, but she was a big get for us and had a stellar 4-year career, and we were super excited when she got drafted to the Atlanta Beat until they folded. So, but, things tend to work out, and Kate kept after it. I had the opportunity to go play in Iceland with Veronica Perez last fall, and, lo and behold, Seattle ends up with a professional team, and she's here.
Kate, your impressions of the first half, that defensive line that you are normally a part of, looked like it really was doing a solid job, and of course with Hope in goal, directing traffic back there.
Yeah, I thought the first half looked really good. like Amy said, both teams had a couple good opportunities to score, but I really feel like we're gonna one of those shots is gonna fall for our way, and I think it's coming. So I'm so excited. Yeah.
That first one can sometimes be the toughest one.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be tonight, and that'll certainly grab some attention around this league if Seattle can pull off the upset tonight against Portland. I think unless we send you back to the bench, we make you an analyst for the second half, and I think Coach Harvey wants you out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I
coming
wish
by.
I could stay. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
Good luck and get back soon.
Yeah.
Kate Dynas, outstanding member of this Reign squad, nice enough to join us here at halftime. It is a 0-0 draw up to this point between Seattle and the Portland Reign. Second half kickoff just right around the corner. Just about ready to get the second half underway here at Starfire Stadium. Scoreless between Seattle and Portland. Good look at some of the younger fans here today. That looks like a club team that is out here supporting. I'm not sure if they're supporting the Reign or the Thorns. We have terrific fan support for both teams here tonight. Take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. 4 shots on goal for Portland. Lesle, 9 shots on goal for the Reign, so they've really done a good job applying that pressure. Now they've just got to find that breakthrough moment in the second half, or moments preferably.
Yeah, like I said, towards the end of the half, you can't. It was a good half for them, a very good half for them, but you need to get a goal out of it. You don't want to play this well and end up with nothing. And at this point in the season, would you take a point? You would. But at home, playing this well, you really, really want to get the 3 points out of it. I think they're playing well enough, and they've got a good lineup in. I really think they can get 3 tonight if they go for it.
Be very interesting to see what adjustments maybe are made by each club in the second half. I would guess for Seattle, it's oversimplified, but more of the same. Keep doing what you're doing. What do you think Cindy Parlow-Cohn's message may have been to her club to maybe get into gear and get into more of a flow that was missing over the first 45?
I think Seattle, Laura's done a good job of setting their defense at the right line. The space behind the backs and Hope hasn't been too big, so they're not going to get those big countering balls. They've got to prevent the counter, of course, but that space hasn't really been on for Alex Morgan, Christine Sinclair, or Mona Shim to run into. So, I'm not sure what Cindy's going to tell them. Maybe a little bit more build-up, looking to maybe look at the width a little bit more, get people wide. I talked about it before. You see Marion Doherty going now. We haven't really seen a lot of wide play out of their outside backs, and this could cause a problem for Seattle if they're allowed to play in that area in the flank.
Kerr. Nice switch.
So you go flank to flank there, and maybe that was a discussion they had, because that's not something that we saw excessively in the first half.
Allie Long. Fishlock all over her, and Jess comes up with the ball. To Nairn, who drops it back to Kyle. Nice ball by Hope. Dahlstream to Noyola. Keelan Winters up ahead. Cameron trying to chase it down and split 2 defenders. Good job by Kat Williamson, shielding off Cameron that time. To Bueller.
Now, Kat Williamson's a player I haven't seen much, but I know she's been solid all year for Portland. And so for me, it's good to see her for the first time live. She's a player out of the University of Florida, played for Becky Burley, and she's done well.
Kerr. Ahead, looking for Marion Doherty. But Dahlstream beats her to the ball. Nicely done.
See, now you've gone and done it. You're not calling her Marianne anymore, Tom. I thought I slipped you, that money.
It's just
on
a
the sly.
habit.
It's fine.
And that was my poor handwriting on my
That's okay.
little bit of a cheat sheet. Actually, it's a big cheat sheet.
Yeah, we've seen Marianne already get up the right side twice now. They're looking for her, and she can be really dangerous getting forward.
Kyle and Shim contending for that ball. Bogus keeps it in. And a throw in coming up for the Thorns. Morgan. Long. Getting tangled up there with Barnes. Keelan Winters playing it out.
So you've seen already here Portland with a little bit more patience going forward, but Seattle, again, just as patient defensively. Not overcommitting, staying behind the ball, battling for every 50-50 ball. Portland trying to draw fouls unsuccessfully.
Oh, nice job.
Great little move by Noyola there.
Seattle trying
and
to
an outstanding
counter.
ball forward.
Cameron, she's going to get overlapped by Fishlock. See if she waits on her. Goes back heel and just unable to get that done, making it maybe a little more difficult than she needed to.
Yeah, that's the thing we keep talking about Tiffany Cameron. She's got a lot of tools, but she's got to find more creative ways of taking on, and she's got to make her decisions a little bit quicker. Fishlock was on. She simply just needed to pass her in wide on a simple pass forward. She had plenty of time and space, and then get herself in front of the goal for the pass back to her to get a shot off. Again, youth. She's young.
Yeah.
She's inexperienced. That'll all come.
An encouraging build-up early in the second half for the Reign.
I really, really like how active she's been tonight.
Playing up front along with Noyola and Liz Bogus. And Amy Rodriguez would have been an integral part of that front line, member of the U.S. national team, but pregnant, and she'll miss the entire season. And Megan Rapinoe will join this midfield in June, coming over from Lyon in France. That'll certainly be a terrific addition. And Leslie, you think about Megan and Fishlock anchoring down things in the midfield for this Seattle team. That's exciting.
Well, Megan Rapinoe is like Fishlock. She's a game changer. You know, there's so many things about her craftiness. She can play multiple positions. She finds people. She makes other players look good. She's a selfless player. She played the first 45 minutes this week against Wolfsburg in the Champions League final. Lyon came up on the short end of it. They lost 1-0 late on a penalty kick, and so it'll be interesting to talk to her about what the Champions League season was like, what her season with Lyon was like. I know from the things I've read, she's enjoyed playing in France, but it'll certainly be good to get her back here and hopefully see her out on the field. They probably, I'm guessing, have some national team duty. Maybe before the Reign see her, I'm not sure. But we'll take Pino anytime she wants to suit up.
Yellow card issued to Marion Doherty. Third yellow of this match that we've had issued. You mentioned Rapinoe and how she's enjoyed France, maybe too much to the liking of the Reign and their fans. She's indicated she may, or at least is leaning toward heading back over there next year, and again, that would delay her appearance here in Seattle. Sinclair.
I'll tell you what you have seen already from Christine Sinclair is a lot more movement forward. She's not sitting back in sort of that withdrawn forward role. She's getting up next to and beyond the forward line. Again, finisher. She's looking to get chances and being much more aggressive about it this half already.
A throw and went directly to Barnes. Nice job that time by Allie Long. Doherty ahead, targeting Morgan. Alex Morgan with some room. Going down too easily that time. Fishlock, Seattle looking to counter. Bogus on her right, Nairn on her left.
Good patience there. Tiffany Cameron hadn't lost her defender, so that wasn't an option for Jess Fishlock to play. She recognized that quickly and just decided to keep the ball. A lot of good defending on both sides. I think both teams are starting to fall a little bit looking for a call, but I'm a defender, and, you know, a tackle's a tackle. You got to, as a referee, hopefully not fall for those kind of antics from the forward players.
Good job that last time by Rachel Bueller. Winners. Noyle coming near touchline to Dahlstream. Morgan to Sinclair on the move. Christine Sinclair into the box, crossing, shim. Good job that time by Seattle defensively. The late recovery by Meyer.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Kristen Meyer's been very good. And you see Hope, you know, probably just met her a few days ago, patting her on the back.
What's your name?
Yeah, patting her on the back and telling her good job. And now time to defend a corner. We didn't see many corners from the Thorns in the first half.
Her to take this. Alex Morgan running over, claiming that Fishlock and Meyer were not the appropriate distance away.
That's what that little hash mark on the field is for.
Kaylin Kyle trying to chase it down.
The good news is Kaylin Kyle looks like she's recovered from whatever knock she took in the first half.
Current along. Sinclair. Shim. Sinclair trying to get some room. And Winners with the defensive play. That'll be another corner kick for the Thorns.
Did I mention earlier that Christine Sinclair is getting a little more active in and around the 18? I feel like I'm on the sidelines of a Husky game playing Portland still. I go quiet because my stomach's in a knot when she gets the ball in the 18.
So if you're Seattle, how do you counter her increased activity in that area?
No, I mean, you got to keep defending as well as they've defended, but when you break, you've got to break out. You've got to break out a little more cleanly than we have. You notice Portland's pressing a little bit more, and it's been a little bit harder for the Reign to get out, but they've got to get back a hold of the ball like they did the first half and play out with that same kind of confidence that they had in those first 45.
If anyone has lost a set of keys, you may find them at the merchandise.
That corner kick may have been last touched by Edwards, so a goal kick coming up for the purple-clad Hope Solo, making her season debut. It was last summer in Seattle as a build-up to the World Cup. It's a tremendous group gathered here. Hope and Alex Morgan and a whole host of folks. Veronica Perez, a former player for you, also here,
Stephanie
amongst
Cox,
others.
Rapino, they were all here.
Great group.
You know, when the WPS folded, the W League and the Sounders women provided a great opportunity for them to be able to continue to play in preparation for the Olympics in London. As did other WPSL elite teams around the country and other W League teams. The Ottawa Fury, who ended up winning the W League last year, had a few of the Canadian players.
It was Edwards with a foul on Winters. Keelan Winters. Father was still is Brian Winters, a great player in the NBA for many years, terrific shooter.
Can he do anything about getting our Sonics back for us so we know if he has any pull?
Anybody who can do that, we want to talk to him. Speaking of tremendous rivalry between Seattle and Portland, not only these two teams getting their rivalry underway in this inaugural season of the NWSL, but fabulous, fabulous rivalry between the Portland Timbers and Seattle Sounders FC and MLS. We'd love to see the Trailblazers Sonics rivalry
and
we'd
love to see the Vancouver Whitecaps add an NWSL team as well, so that the Cascadia can go all the way up and down the Northwest as it should. And it's really rich soccer country in this corner of the U.S. and it's fun to be a part of. The Sounders have been on a roll. They've got the Galaxy tomorrow. In another big game for them. They've really come on as of late, and it'd be great for them to get that one on the road. I know Ziggy'd like to take it.
Fun soccer weekend. We had the Champions League today over at Wembley Stadium.
Outstanding
Bayern
game between
Munich
the
winning.
two German squads for sure. Beer and brat sales at Wembley through the roof.
Off the charts.
Through the roof.
The beer sales are probably still going on.
No doubt.
Just for the fans of Bayern Munich.
No doubt. It was a tremendous game. I mean, it was just, it's why you love soccer is games like that.
Oh, Kyle.
That is
big
not
mistake.
a good turnover.
Shim. Kerr. Doherty. The service. Sinclair tracking. Allie Long. Sinclair. Let's see if that ball went off Christine. No, it went off one of the Reign players.
A couple things we're seeing a lot more of now. More possession by Portland, more service from wide, particularly from Marion Doherty. More touches inside the 18-yard box from Christine Sinclair and Alex Morgan. Not any of those things positive for the Reign. They've got to get back a hold of the ball and again, play with that possession and the confidence that they played with the first 45 minutes.
Meyer heads it out. '58th minute here at Starfire Stadium. Fishlock. Allowing that Seattle defense to recover a little bit. Here's Edwards. Doherty. Working on Noyola, but that touch a little too strong. Sends it out, and a throw-in coming up for the Reign. Cameron up to Noyola, trying to find Nairn.
That's where
Morgan. Kerr. Shim. Oh, good defense that time by Seattle. Lauren Barnes. Very dangerous situation. Ball played back by Williamson to LeBlanc.
that was an outstanding defensive play by Lauren Barnes, and she was fouled on the other end of it. The AR saw it. The center ref never turned to look. But I've been super impressed with Lauren. She's playing more out of a central position tonight. She's got great speed. She's solid. This is one of the better games I've seen her have.
Long with room, the shot. Stopped by Barnes. Morgan fires wide to her left. Goal kick coming up for Solo.
This is where Hope's just going to take her time. She's going to go and talk to her backs. She's going to slow the game down a little bit. She knows her team hasn't been in possession. There doesn't seem to be a ball kid on that side of the field, so she's going to suck some time off the clock there. But that's where someone with her presence and her experience is going to be able to just take it down a notch and calm everybody down a little bit and let them get their win back. Seattle's got to find their rhythm again.
Hope is always asked about, well, how long do you want to keep on playing? And clearly her position lends you to a longer career if you so desire compared to positions out on the pitch. So how long do you think she can stay at the elite level she's been at for such a long time?
In goalkeeping, as long as your body holds up, I think her shoulder right now, I would tell you, and she's done a lot of work with our trainer, Christopher Melton at the University of Washington on her wrist rehab. When she's been in town, she's come by and he's helped her out, but he's also helped her with some of her shoulder rehab, and her shoulder is still probably a little bit worse than her wrist, to be honest with you. She rushed back to get back to the World Cup after that shoulder surgery, which was a much more major surgery. But she's got in Seattle the Casey Keller Challenge. The Casey Keller Challenge is to play till you're however old that dude is.
Till you get yourself into the broadcast booth.
I'm kidding. Into your 40s. And nobody did it better than Casey. And, you look at Brad Friedel, you look at a lot of the great men goalkeepers, and they've played, they've had really good long careers. And Hope, she's still at the top of her game when she's fit and healthy. And I know there's one thing out there that she doesn't have that my assistant coach, Amy Griffith, will tell you she does have, which is a World Cup medal. And so in 2015 in Canada, she wants that thing around her neck more than anything. She's worked hard for it. Her teammates have worked hard for it. It's been too long since the U.S. has won a World Cup, and I know that she's committed to trying to make that happen.
Bogus! Great save by LeBlanc.
Outstanding save by Karina LeBlanc, and a great diving header by Liz Bogus.
Noyola. And LeBlanc again.
You know what? Not
right
a bad
place,
look
right
by
time.
Noyola.
Yeah.
The Thorns were back and defending well. A ball far post could have been challenged for, but she saw that near post open, and I've seen Teresa Noyola get a hold of one of those. She didn't strike that one that clean, but you saw LeBlanc have to scurry back to her near post. She wasn't expecting it to go there. Good little flurry by the Reign.
Sinclair to Morgan. Oh, pretty pass by Alex Morgan to Kerr. Doherty on the overlap. Fishlock for Seattle to Noyola. Seattle with an opportunity to counter. 4-on-4. Noyola. Christine Nairn. Noyola. Noyola with room. Noyola blocked on the shot. Noyola again blocked on the shot. That time by Buehler. Winters launches, again blocked.
That's not good for Keelan Winters right there.
She's had some ankle issues.
Yep.
And as she fired, I think it was Rachel Buehler, who just had a tremendous defensive sequence right there, denying Seattle on a couple of opportunities.
Yeah. And trust me, nobody feels worse than Rachel Buehler. This is just Keelan coming up. She comes off her feet to hit that second shot, and I think her foot just gets caught underneath Rachel on the follow through.
Right.
And if that's her bad ankle, that's probably what she's nicked again. We'll see. Don't want to speculate, but
looks like they're looking up higher than the ankle, maybe a little bit. The key always on that is the foot being planted when the contact occurs, and now it looks like they're focusing mid-calf to ankle. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, she doesn't look happy about it. Keelan Winters is one of the toughest players I've seen play, that my teams have competed against, and I've watched her time and time again come back from injury. And, if she doesn't come back, she's really hurt.
Updated standings. Sky Blue FC getting the victory tonight against FC Kansas City. So Sky Blue goes to 19 points. Portland to keep pace will need a victory here tonight. And again, you want to apply the tiebreaker. Sky Blue would have that based on a win not that long ago in Portland, 1-0 over the Thorns. So Winters up with some assistance. Heading back to the Seattle sideline. Looks like she's going to check back in.
The good news is she's standing at the half line, and that's great news for the Seattle Reign.
Doing that fourth referee, Ray Moffitt Jr. sends her back on the pitch, and he does. She's back. So why not get a quick touch in?
There's a lot of times if you have a bad ankle, anybody that's played soccer that's rolled ankles or had injured ankles multiple times will tell you this. You just tweak it once, and all it takes is just stamp your fist into the ground, use a few expletives, get up, shake it off, and go back at it again. It's just sometimes, when they're not given time to heal and you don't have the time to let them heal, they're chronic.
Ball played out a little too much in front of Jess Fishlock, and Jess was saying, that really is on me. I should have anticipated the pass. Shim, Edwards, Williamson to Buehler. Errant pass to Fishlock. Looking for Noyola. A little off target, easy for Doherty to track down. Good anticipation that time by Nairn with a head on the ball. Dahlstream.
This is where they need to keep it in this half. They need to find that rhythm again.
Cameron. Reign looking for something special here in the second half. Winters. 0-0 in the 66th minute here at Starfire Stadium. First half dominated in terms of offensive opportunities by Seattle. That momentum has shifted for the most part so far this half to Portland. And there's Morgan with an opportunity possibly. Working on Kyle Sinclair. And Portland claiming a handball against one of the Reign players. I'm not sure if that was Winters or not. Instead, it'll be a corner kick.
I think it might have been Kristen Meyer. The ball popped up, and inadvertent. We'll see on the replay, but let's just say that has not been called for a penalty kick. It's a corner.
Sinclair, see her in the center of your screen protesting the non-call. Got a substitution. Force Portland, and it's Shim coming off. So Mana Shim's night is over in the 67th minute.
Portland substitute.
I think it's Danielle Foxhoven, another Portland
Number
pilot.
9, yep.
Another great Portland pilot, another great finisher. Danielle Foxhoven's come on in a lot of the Thorn games and been very, very effective in the attack.
Head of that ball still in a dangerous space. There's Allie Long. Foxhoven. And Seattle weathers the storm. Noyola, well done.
Teresa Noyola's had an outstanding game tonight. She's been very composed on the ball.
Had the right idea to
Right idea there, but she's settled them where, at other times it seemed frantic. A little misconnect there, which is unfortunate because it was a great place for the ball to go. But that's what Teresa Noyola is capable of. She's skillful. She's got great vision, a smart soccer player.
Williamson.
Bright future for Mexico with her on the team. That's another terrible
turnover,
giveaway.
Sinclair. Kerr, winners.
Well done by Dahlstrom to win that one back, because that is not a place you want to play the ball at this point in the match, with those three sitting right on the top of the D.
And taken away, Doherty.
Seattle needs to start getting the ball out wide, particularly in the back half. They've got to play out wide and keep it wide. They can't look to play through their midfield right now. Portland has collapsed on top of them. When they play into the middle in that back third, it's getting taken away. They need to find it right where it is right now, out wide. Try to switch it, play around them.
That touch pass from Cameron. Back to Nairn, off target. Good job by Nairn off the header to keep that in. Thorns will reset.
And this is where you're wondering, for Coach Harvey, what she starts to think about as far as substitutions. The Reign have had to defend quite a bit at the beginning of the second half. They've taken a couple knocks. They've done well, have lost possession somewhat. Do they have a sub on the bench that they think helps them get out of this game with a minimum of a tie, or do they sub to try to win it? I mean, how much are they going to try to press to get the 3 points?
Fishlock ducking under Kerr that time. Full head of steam. Fishlock firing. Blocked by Bueller. Who else? Just Fishlock going down. Coming up with the ball. That foul will go against Fishlock.
She handled that ball.
Aggressive play.
Yeah, she was aggressive. It was a great slide tackle and a great tackle, but it was a handball. When she rolled over on top of the ball, she handled it.
Morgan and Kaylin Kyle competing for that one. Last touch by the Reign.
I saw Cindy Cohn right near Jessica Fishlock hop up and clap really adamantly. It's amazing that Jess Fishlock has gathered such a following already down in Portland. She's made some friends, apparently. That celebration did her in. I love it.
We'll be keeping tabs on her. That ball taken in by Solo. That's what you need in a rivalry, though. I mean, you need competitive games, which the first one was, which this one is. You need those fiery personalities.
Absolutely.
Stars. So while Seattle doesn't have the results, not by a long shot, that it's wanted, at least in terms of this matchup, it's been some very good soccer through the first match and now into the 71st minute.
I'd say that the ball, Portland's possession has been decent and their chances have been good this half, but I would say in general, in the run of play from both teams, this hasn't been as attractive soccer as it was the first half. This has gotten a little bit more this has gotten a little bit more jumbled, a little bit more frantic, but hopefully we can see them get back to knocking it around and finding some composure within the game to try to get a goal.
Fishlock assisted to her feet by the member of the training staff for the Reign.
I think I saw her point to her hamstring. Not sure what that's all about.
So we'll see if she's getting herself back to that center line to get back in, although she'll be escorted back to the bench. So for the time being, Seattle will be down a player.
We're going to have to have a little chat with our friend Dawn Scott about those types of things. I couldn't see what happened there. They haven't subbed for her. She's getting water.
Maybe cramping possibly a little bit in the calf?
Maybe. She's trying to stretch it out. It's either a calf or a hamstring. Can't tell.
Gulfstream to Noyola, who's really had an outstanding evening. Winners to Nairn. Nairn brought down from behind. That foul will go against Allie Long.
Yeah.
Quickly played by Winners, and you know, play those free kicks. You got to make sure that first one connects. Kerr looking for Morgan, headed by Kyle.
Good clearance by Lauren Barnes. Good header by Kyle to defend that. That was a poor giveaway by the Rain. They need to link there. They can't give those balls away in the middle third. The way Portland's pressing and the numbers they're throwing forward. I mean, Alex Morgan, Danielle Foxhoven, and Christine Sinclair have basically been in and around playing 3v4, whatever, inside the 18 the last 15, 20 minutes. And you don't want to give that group those kind of chances that often.
Kerr, high arcing. And over the goal. Goal kick coming up for Hope Solo.
This is a long time for Hope to stand up. I wonder if she's getting tired.
It's been a while.
That's 73 minutes she's been back there. Wonder if she's practiced this at home. I'm teasing. I know she's been training really, really hard.
Well, I'm surprised. I came out on Thursday, and there she was out on the field. And, you know, there were times, and understandably so, and it's really the right thing to do, where she was certainly making sure that she did not put that wrist and arm in any sort of vulnerable situation. I mean, you don't want to get hurt. You certainly don't want to get hurt in training when you're coming back off a surgical situation. Fishlock slipping down, and again, this may be something that is going to require her to come out. It's affecting her ability to plant and play.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that looked like it was going to be a good opportunity. She knows that they missed a chance there. And in true Pacific Northwest fashion, we've got the wave started.
Morgan taken away by Seattle. Taken right back by the Thorns.
Seattle doing a really good job dropping when there's no pressure on the ball and defending the long service going forward. They haven't been played in behind very often on the long ball tonight, and that was by design. They've done a really good job of executing.
Oh, terrific ball to Noyola. That from Dahlstream. 1v1, Noyola. Now two Thorn defenders. Cameron. Bogus will track it down. See if she can get a service in. Four Rain players in the box. This one coming out, Noyola. Chip ahead, Cameron. And LeBlanc coming out to take it. Good threat, though, that time. Good build-up off that initial pass from Dahlstream by the Rain.
The Rain showing something there, switching the ball from Noyola from one side to the other and then back across. The only piece they're missing there, aside from the goal, is how they're serving the ball. They tend to be really flat. The service, even the ones that come in low and hard, they're not in behind the defense. They either got to go over the defense or sharp in behind into one of those seams. Most of it's being played flat and in front of them, and it's a little bit too easy for the Thorn defense to defend against it now.
There's Bogus. Attendance tonight, 3,324. Bogus the shot, off the post with a left foot.
I think Karina LeBlanc was caught a little off there. I don't know what she thought, but she did not react well to that. If that would have gone in, that would have been a soft goal because she wasn't going for it. She was caught flat-footed for sure. Maybe she thought it was wider, but that nicked the post.
Take another look, Liz Bogus. As close as we've come to a goal this evening.
Karina LeBlanc with a little smile there. That's what in the goalkeeper's world is known as an eye save. One that you just kind of see go out.
The end of the 77th minute at Starfire Stadium. Still a 0-0 draw. That nearly changed.
Momentum swung back to the Rain here a little bit.
Yeah, it has.
In the last few moments. A lot of the play going through Teresa Noyola.
Nairn Too strong on that. She was targeting Cameron.
When their numbers are back like that, Nairn's got to be a little more patient. There's another pass to be had before that ball. She's good enough to thread and connect, maybe combine and get it back herself, moving forward on the dribble. She's got a great shot from distance. Get herself a little closer to goal.
Throw in for Portland. That'll be taken by Nikki Marshall.
I think Laura Harvey's thinking we've played really well with this lineup. And I think she's been hesitant at the 76-minute mark to upset it. This is probably getting close to one of the better 90-minute games they've had, where they haven't defended the entire time. They've had a lot of run of play at different parts of the game. It's been back and forth. They created a lot of restarts. But with that said, do you make a change just to make a change, or is there something else that the Reign has in their arsenal that can help them secure the 3 points?
Well, you mentioned how she certainly likes what she has seen from this lineup, and that's been one of the challenges with the injuries and trying to find the right combination is finding a lineup. So that would be a huge part of the battle if she can at least find a core group that she can kind of stick with game in and game out.
And you know what I'd say at this point, just because she has done a great job tonight. She hasn't been rewarded with a goal. She's done a lot of running. Her pace has been a threat. She's been involved in a lot of the attack, but she hasn't had that finishing piece. Someone that's got good pace and also has the ability to ruffle their back line a little bit is Lindsay Patterson. I think that she's feisty. She's a great super sub. She can come on and do some things in the waning minutes. I might look to her, here as time's drawing down. I mean, you don't hurt yourself defensively by putting in another forward. I think there's got to be something else up front.
Good tackle by Sinclair. Leads to the Seattle throw-in. Both teams just looking for that one special moment, and on this night, that very well may be enough. So we're in the 79th minute. Courtney Wetzel, number 20, has come on for Portland.
Wetzel's a local product out of Puyallup, played at Oregon State for the Beavers in the Pac-12. Outstanding player, local favorite. A lot of friends of Courtney on our team at the University of Washington that know her really well, have played with her growing up throughout the years. This is where the depth of the Thorns, may end up being a factor. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's, clearly here late in the game, Coach Cohn has started to make some changes, fresh legs, and, Seattle hasn't made one yet.
Wetzel, by the way, coming on for Angie Kerr.
AKA Wazzy. Former Angela Wozniak, also out of the University of Portland. This Thorn team's got a very distinct Carolina-Portland connection. And, for their franchise, wisely so. A lot of great players out of both of those programs, and to have a coach from North Carolina and players in the city of Portland that played at the University of Portland come back to be able to fill Jeld-Wen is great marketing and smart on their part.
We refer to Cindy Parlow Cohn and what a phenomenal career she had with the Tar Heels. Two-time Herman Trophy winner, 97 and 98. Four-time All-American, two-time Olympic gold medalist.
I'm trying to, without doing any more research, just off the top of my head, she's got to be the most decorated player coaching in the league this year, for sure. She was an outstanding player at North Carolina, had a great national team career. Best player ever out of Tennessee.
There, you say that with conviction.
I say that with a lot of confidence.
158 appearances with the U.S. national team.
If I'm wrong, someone tweet me.
Now you've done it.
Yeah.
There's also another one of the UNC connections not playing tonight is Nikki Washington, three-time NCAA champion under Anson Dorrance at Carolina.
One of the best sports dynasties around.
Great book, by the way. His book on his program and his development as a coach. Really a very fascinating read, and talking about the differences that he viewed between coaching men and women. He coached both at North Carolina. If you're a parent of a young soccer player or a soccer player yourself, it's. I wish I could remember the title, but it really is a terrific read. Just look up Anson Dorrance and you'll find his book.
Yeah, he coached the men at Carolina before he coached the women, and he was a national team coach for 10 years. And Carolina doesn't need any more help recruiting players, so I think I'm just going to stop there. I'm teasing. Anson is.
You ever gone head-to-head with him over some players?
Every once in a while we
Yeah.
have, yeah. And you know, Anson's just. He's a legend beyond compare, really. I mean, the things he's done for our sport and the way they've won and how they've done it his way at North Carolina has certainly set a standard and a precedent for a lot. And it's made everyone else have to be better. Just like the U.S. and women's soccer and the national team winning in 91 and again in 99, kind of upped the game around the world. Anson upped the game for college programs.
Good build-up by the Thorns, but Fishlock coming out of that back line, and good tackle that time by Edwards. Long to Sinclair. Little flip ahead. And we have a foul called in the box, and a penalty has been called.
That's unfortunate for sure. I think of a lot of the things that could have been called during this game. I'm not sure this is the one I would have picked.
Pleading her case, and see if we can get another look at that, but Hope over there. This obviously is not going to be reversed, but critical call by Margaret Domka and Sinclair against Solo. Thorn versus Rain. Of course, rivals at the international level. We all know about that classic in London, the semifinals, won by the U.S. 4-3. So a lot of familiarity between these two players, Hope Solo and Christine Sinclair. We are in the 84th minute at Starfire Stadium, and this may end up being the definitive moment tonight. And Sinclair scores. Really, as a goalkeeper in a position you have to guess. Hope went to her left. The shot went the other direction. Christine Sinclair gives Portland a 1-0 lead in the 84th minute.
Yeah, it was a well-struck PK. You know, Hope guessed a little bit on it, and you know, PK is a PK. Not much you could do. She showed a little bit to Hope's left, and that's the way Hope thought she was going to go, and then she just buried it low to the right.
Fourth goal this season for Christine Sinclair. She now shares the team lead with Alex Morgan. And let's see if the Rain can respond. Good defense by Marion Doherty that time.
That ball's in still.
Still in, but it gone out. Here's and now called out. So the goal kick coming up from LeBlanc.
Well, it goes back to, you know, a lot of different things. The first half when they were playing well, the 8 or 9 corner kicks, the restart after restart. I think I mentioned it earlier that you don't want to put yourself against a team that has as much firepower as this team and as much depth on their bench in a position where it stays 0-0 for that long without finishing one of those opportunities. And unfortunate for the Rain, you know, to give up a PK this late in the game is unfortunate, and whether it was deserved or not, I'd have to go back and see it again.
Single match tickets available for future Seattle Rain games here at Starfire Stadium. Go to rainfc.com. That's rainfc.com. Tickets starting at $19. 86th minute. Time running out on the Rain. Long. Foxhoven. And Solo scoops it up.
And this is where they need to get people forward. They need to be able to get people under Hope's punts to run off of. They don't have the numbers.
There's that power you talked about that Hope can provide on those punts out. Morgan.
Great job by Kristen Meyer. Again, I've been super impressed with the young kid out of Wake Forest. She's just been solid. In her first debut, you know, she's done very well tonight for them. She's a bright spot and definitely something that they can build off going forward.
There's Portland now. Primary focus on possession. Dahlstream wins that battle with Foxhoven. Oh, and just probably, I think, a fatigue mistake more than anything by Dahlstream as she hit that one out.
Yeah.
And Doherty will take as much time as she can to get to that throw in.
You know, back to the penalty kick, and obviously Christine Sinclair Sink finished it well. And the interesting thing in this game, if you look back, is Hope really hasn't had to do that much. The Reign have defended well. She's kept the back line organized. They've stayed in a good defensive shape. They've been able to play out of it well. They haven't been necessarily bunkering. They've been able to get out of it and possess the ball and attack quite a bit. So, you know, knowing her as a competitor, she's going to be none too happy that the game, if it stays this way, is decided on a penalty kick. Hopefully the Reign can muster something up and get one back.
Mueller moving forward. Sinclair. Christina Larson has come on for Seattle in place of Liz Bogus. Edwards plays the ball down into the corner. Ball last touched by the Reign. Marshall with a throw-in. Sure if we have a foul call. They'll throw it in again. The bottom line is this is the time that's coming off the clock.
The game is now in a lull, and time is ticking, and people are starting to beat the traffic, which is, you never like to see that. Hopefully the Reign will make them regret getting up and walking by scoring a goal, tying it up.
Up ahead, Larson trying to get to that ball. Seattle needing some possession, hoping to get some bodies forward. Here we go. There. Looking to counter.
The Reign have numbers. They got to make something out of this.
Noyola. Nairn. Coming out wide, and I think Tiffany Cameron anticipated Dahlstream coming. Dahlstream anticipated Cameron coming back to that ball, and both hesitated. Clever that time by Dahlstream. Throw in for Seattle, 90th minute. Nice turn by Nairn. Good switch, plenty of room on that far sideline. Meyer flicks it ahead, Noyola. Seattle needing to get a service here. Nice move by Noyola. Goes down as she was about to enter the box. They have just slipped. Here's Kyle. Looking to serve one up, and does. Winters gets ahead on it. And LeBlanc secures it and goes down to protect the ball. And to eat up some time.
Your attention, please.
Another good little flurry by the Seattle Reign. Would have liked to have seen more than just Keelan Winters charging in there. We needed more numbers around the ball for the second one. She couldn't get enough power on the header. There should have been someone following it up. You got to commit yourself to attack when you're down 1-0.
3 minutes of added time. Sinclair launches. Morgan tracks. And Morgan fouled by Dahlstream. Again, Portland will take its time. Morgan standing over the ball to her left, Foxhoven. And again, this is just time wasting going on right here as Morgan's complaining about the positioning of the Seattle defenders.
At some point, the referee's got to caution. I mean, they've got to put the ball into play. They just can't stand on it.
Throw in for Portland. Well, when you're up 1-0, you try to kill as much time as you can, any way that you can. About a minute and a half left to play. Aaron to throw in. And they're calling it. They're actually telling Aaron to back up. Now back up some more. Again, more
this
time
is one of those
coming off
things
the
at
clock.
the end of the game that officials, Hope's going to get irritated with the ref. Here we go. Is that, it just gets a little bush league at the end to let the clock run out like this. It's a 1-0 game. The fans have been treated to good soccer on both sides. Fair soccer on both sides by both teams. And you can't let the last 3 minutes of extra time take the wind out of the sails of the excitement of the game. Let the Reign try to get a goal in the last 3 minutes. Put the ball in play.
40 seconds left. Larson. Aaron unable to get a soft touch on that ball to maintain possession. Solo will launch. Sinclair. And she'll just send it down into the near corner. Throw in for Seattle. Just about 10 seconds unofficially left in this match. Winners, maybe one last opportunity for Seattle. Into the box, Kyle. Larson. Winners. And down goes Winners in the box. And that is it on this Saturday night at Starfire Stadium. Keelan Winners still down, and Portland survives. A real threat tonight from the Seattle Reign, a 1-0 Portland victory. So in the first two matches between these franchises, 1-goal decisions, the first going 2-1 in favor of Portland down at Geldwen Field, and tonight it's 1-0 in favor of the Thorns.
Yeah, Keelan Winter's still down in the field. I think she got hit in the midsection there as time was running out. I didn't like how the whole last 3 minutes of extra time was managed by the referee, by the other team. It took the wind out of the sails of the game, really. I mean, it's just not fair to the players to do that. I know the Reign worked hard this game. It's been one of their better matches of the season. You know, they were fired up, great crowd tonight. Having Hope back is a real positive for their team. Some shining, bright spots. I thought Teresa Noyola had one of her better games. Kristen Meyer played great at right back. The new back line held well for just being put together. But I know the Reign, they've got to be feeling a little bit down right now, just feeling like, what do they have to do to get a win? I mean, obviously, they need to score goals is the answer to that rhetorical question. But the bottom line is a PK and then, either no call for or just the, things that just don't go their way, basically. Not things that are excuses, but just when it goes bad, it goes bad. I don't want to say when it rains, it pours, because I might get, in trouble for that. But it's one of those things where they have to keep their heads high, and they have to try to still find the silver lining in this match as far as playing against a team, holding basically, other than a penalty kick, Christine Sinclair and Alex Morgan scoreless, and really Hope wasn't forced to make that many really awe-inspiring saves. They were organized, they defended well, and she managed her back line well, and the backs did a really good job of keeping them from getting clear chances. So there are a lot of positives to be had. I know it doesn't feel that way when you don't win, and when you haven't won in a while, but there's still time in this season to grab some things out of it, and hopefully they'll go back, they'll look at this one and pick those positives out. I know it's tough when you're Laura Harvey, though, and you have to find those time and time again. I've been there, so.
Well, you have a defense that over the previous 3 matches had allowed 9 goals, so I think your point's a terrific one in terms of what they did tonight facing Morgan and Sinclair. And I think a huge positive, really, Leslie, for this Seattle team is maybe Laura Harvey has found a core lineup that she can work with right now and work through. I mean, we've seen as many as 5 to 6 changes from match to match as she deals with injuries and trying to find, again, combinations that work. So maybe at least a step in the right direction in that regard tonight.
Definitely. I mean, she's seen more from some players that she knows what she has now. Even when Kate Dynas is able to get healthy. Ellie Reed's able to get healthy. I think from those two as backs, you get a little bit more possession than you do out of some of the backs that played tonight, that are some of them converted from other positions. But certainly defensively, you saw enough that you know you can trust those players and you know what you're going to get from them. But a healthy squad is going to be key for the Reign going forward, because as I said before, you saw right when Portland came out at the beginning of the second half, they started to press more, 1. 2, they subbed and subbed. I mean, they didn't get worse with their substitutions. They got better, and the Reign got worn down a little bit. And, you know, I don't know if it's tired legs. And, again, I'd have to see the foul again to see if it truly was a penalty kick. I didn't see it closely enough to know that. But, you know, that's one of those things that happens late in the game, and they've had a couple of those this season where, you know, the tide turns on that one thing, and it just, you know, it doesn't end up positive for them. They had enough run of play and enough restarts in the first half to score a goal tonight, and that still to me is the major issue for the Reign, is who are going to be their finishers.
You see they had 19 shots tonight, 7 of those shots on goal for Cindy Parlow-Cone and the Portland Thorns. Congratulations to them. They survived a bit of a storm here tonight, got the call that went in their favor. Sinclair takes advantage of it, so you know they improve their record now to 6-1-1, 19 points. They keep pace with Sky Blue FC, a winner over Kansas City, both of those clubs at 19. And you know they have been quite a success story, not only with their performance on the field, but their fan support down at Geldwin, and those fans traveled extremely well up here tonight. It really made for a terrific environment in this
hopefully
rivalry.
This is a sign to Seattle again. You know, the Reign did not have any exhibition games at home in this preseason. They have the friendly with Haiti coming up, which is great. But this city is just starting to get to know this team.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've got to come out and watch them. They're good. You know, there's a lot of quality players, some local, some not local, but a lot of great talent on this team that the city needs to embrace. And tonight, I think, is just the beginning. They've got to be able to come out here and support them. Seattle's, you know, a soccer city. We've seen it time and time again. If you put the product on the field, they'll come. And I just think that the Seattle Reign have been possibly not known as much in the beginning of this league as they will become known the rest of the summer as we move forward.
Marquee players help. Hope Solo certainly one of those. Megan Rapinoe one of those. She'll be getting into the fray in June. So the Reign certainly hope that this was a step in the right direction that they can build on as they remain winless in the National Women's Soccer League. Leslie, is always a pleasure. Lesle Gallimore, head coach, University of Washington. I'm Tom Glasgow. And for our entire crew here at Starfire Stadium, we really appreciate your joining us for this game tonight. It was a fun one. In the end, the Thorns get it done. The 1-0 victory over the Seattle Reign. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, Tom.